I pledge allegiance to the taco stands of the United Tacos of America and to the taqueros and abuelas of this great land, one nation under tortillas with limones and salsas for all. I'm Mando Rayo.
And I'm Jarod, Neece.
And we're still taco journalists.
That's right. We're exploring tacos and taco cultures throughout the United States. That's right. In today's episode, we're going to exploring Latinx culture.
That's right. So here's the thing, Jarod. I get this question a lot. Mando, what should we call you? Are you a Hispanic? Are you a Latino? A Latinx? We don't know what to use.
What do you prefer?
So we're really going to go deep into this Mexican identity, Latinx identity. Not only that covers the food, the Mexican side, but also the pan Latino. Where are all these different foods coming from Latin America? How do people identify whether they're from Central America, they're from South America, they're, from los Estados Unidos, Mexico. So we're going to explore all that today.
Tortillas, salsa, fillings, that only tells part of the story. All of these other countries, all of these other places, they have what we like to say are taco cousins.
That's right. Hashtag taco cousins. So what are we talking about when we mean taco cousins, Jarod?
We're talking empanadas,
arepas,
pupusas, always pupusas.
That's right.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs?
No, not hot dogs.
Not hot dogs. Burritos, maybe.
Burritos, yes.
Yeah, so we're going to be kind of exploring a lot of how people identify with food, but as well as, their country of origin or their heritage and their nationalities. But we're going to have a great time tasting some amazing empanadas.
That's right.
With our friend Paulo Valdez.
Everyone's favorite Chileno.
That's right. From Yapa Empanadas. So we're also going to talk to a couple of amazing cultural writers, Daniel Hernandez with LA Times and Miriam Gurba. And they're going to talk to us about what does Latinx mean. And,
because not everybody's on the Latinx train, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, what is that language? How do we use it? What does the X mean?
I know personally that I sometimes have a hard time knowing what the correct, but I have Mando.
Yes.
So Mando always tells me the right thing to say.
Yeah, you can call me Mexican, Chicano, Latino, Latinx.
That's right. So,
take your pick. But we're going to give definitely both sides of that. It's
right.
not just we're not just here to talk about get on the Latinx train. I'm Mexicano, I'm Tejano, but I'm also a Chicano. And I use Latinx, broadly when we're talking, identifying just different people from different communities. And I think that's kind of where it's rooted. It's to be more inclusive.
Right.
And so it's going to be an interesting conversation to see.
Yeah, I'm excited to have it for sure. I'm excited to learn more from these folks too. So stick around. You're going to be learning about Latinx and Mexican identities. You're going to be talking about empanadas, arepas. There's so much stuff going on in this episode. You don't want to miss it.
Hashtag taco cousins.
That's right. All right, everybody's favorite segment, taco shout-outs. Today we're going to be shouting out our taco cousins.
Woo-woo.
That's right. Empanadas.
That's right. Empanadas. If you haven't had one, they're beautiful. They're they're like a taco, but sealed.
Sealed taco, like a mini calzone.
Yeah, I don't know. They're baked. Some are baked, some are fried, rooted in Argentina and Chile.
Yeah, South America for sure.
Yeah, you can also get them in Colombia.
And the name comes from the Spanish verb empanar, which translates to inbreaded. Inbreaded. Wrapped or coated in bread.
That's right.
Inbreaded.
Right. Yeah.
That's right. The first empanadas in Western Hemisphere are credited to Argentina. That's right. National Empanada Day is celebrated
Says Argentinians. I don't know. Argentinites?
Argentinians. Argentinians.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Says them.
Says
but
them.
I'm on the Chile bandwagon here, okay?
Also a very traditional Christmas treat in New Mexico.
Oh.
Empanadas.
There's a New Mexico?
It's new. We did it! All right, next up, arepas. Mandos, what is an arepa?
Well, an arepa is kind of like a gordita, you know? It's like almost a sandwich.
Okay.
But not, you know? So
really?
it's stuffed, you know, like that.
But it's masa, right?
But it's masa, it's corn-based masa, and it's stuffed like with a good,
and they kind of make it's thicker.
Yeah.
And they make like a pocket,
Yeah, it's like a
almost.
pocket. Yeah, exactly. But I've seen some arepas that are just like a sandwich themselves too. So.
Okay, like 2 whole pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're very traditional, coming mostly from Colombia.
Yeah.
That's right. They have 75 different forms of preparation of arepas in Colombia. That's a lot.
Tell us, please, what a pupusa is.
Pupusas are very similar to arepas. The main difference is that pupusas are made from nixtamal corn, which is soaked in the lime and the cal. And they're more traditional for Salvador. And
Honduran, my wife's
Honduran represents.
Shout out to my wife.
That's right. all the ladies out there.
All the ladies.
And then there's
that we're married to.
That's right. And they also sell with the cordito, the fermented cabbage. It's like the slaw that they put on top.
Yeah, the slaw on top.
Oh, so good.
And so the pupusas, it's actually sealed.
Yes.
So those are just some examples of our taco cousins.
That's
we
right.
love
There's
all
so
of
many
them.
taco cousins. You can't even remember them all because they're
That's
just
right.
down in the family.
Yeah, it's
you
all
see them
part
only.
of the,
You see them a couple
part
times
of the
a
family
year.
tree.
That's right.
Yeah.
The taco trees. These tacos don't grow on trees.
That's right.
But yeah, so we're excited to come back and talk more about this, and we're gonna make our own empanadas with Paulo, and see what he has to say about his taco cousin, and
who is the ultimate empanada champ, Argentina or Chile?
Wow.
Stay tuned. I'm Mando Rayo.
And I'm Jarod Neece.
And this is Yapa Empanadas.
And this is the most famous Chileno in Texas.
That's right, Mr. Paulo Valdez.
That's right.
Yeah.
Welcome, Paulo.
Welcome, Paulo,
Thank you
to
for
the
having
United
me.
Tacos Taqueria.
And I think you brought some taco cousins here.
A lot. Yeah. Good taco cousins. All the family. So what I have here is the Chilean traditional empanada. In Chile, we actually call it empanada de pino. But of course, here I had to change the name because it was a little confusing. It was like people were asking a pine tree empanada. What is that? So pino didn't work. So we created this name, Conquistadora. It's beef with a lot of onions. We add salt, pepper, of course, cumin, very important, garlic, and merquén. It's an indigenous spice from Chile, from the Mapuche. A dried smoked red pepper that we add salt and coriander seeds. So it gives to the empanada a little smoky flavor and a little bit of kick.
All right, we'll get to work.
Yeah, let's
Paulo,
do
get
that.
to work.
Let's do it.
So, Paulo, what does yapa mean?
So yapa is a indigenous word, a Quechua word, and it means to give a little extra. But it's also like a baker's dozen.
Baker's
We
dozen.
also
You get a
give,
little extra.
yeah, give me a little extra. So in Chile, it's still customary. Can you give me a little yapa, like throwing a little extra?
Yeah.
And how long have you been cooking empanadas?
Well, I started back in 2013. I started missing the food of my country. But I learned to cook the traditional plates here in the US when I came here, and I started missing all those flavors. And then I started sharing with my friends. So that's how things came up, like friends together, cooking all together, sharing different traditions, flavors. Okay, so I'm cooking the beef. So now it's starting to get a little brown. So we're gonna add all the spices. So we added a little pepper,
Just black
salt.
pepper.
Yeah, like a half tablespoon of pepper,
Okay.
a tablespoon of salt, half tablespoon of cumin, garlic, of course, and then merquén, which is the star
Secret
ingredient,
sauce.
secret. We wait for the onions to get a little brownish also.
Yeah, okay.
So we wait a little more.
So you also are, kind of embraced the Central Texas, and so you're making, brisket empanadas and.
Of course, as soon as I got into Texas, I had to try the smoked brisket.
Yeah.
So as soon as I tried it, I was instantly that I had to have that in an empanada because it was just the texture, the flavor, and. So this is the beef, almost done. So once it's done, we mix it with the onions here, which is a lot of onions.
Wow, a lot of onions,
Yeah, that's a big.
So it's almost equal parts onions and beef.
So that's the empanada de pino, that's what it is. It's like beef, but with a lot of onions, all the way cooked. Like when we assemble the empanada, we add a slice of a hard-boiled egg, 1 olive, and a couple raisins, and then we fold it, and that's it.
And so you pre-made some dough for us, I hope.
Yes, so we use white flour, unbleached, unbroomed, non-GMO, and then we use sunflower oil.
Okay.
Yeah. And then a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar. Yeah, we just mix it, let it sit for 20 minutes.
Okay.
Then we roll it. Then we have this is how we
give
cut
it uniform.
them. Yeah.
There you go. That's cool.
7-inch.
Nice, very good.
So I'm gonna do the conquistadora here.
Hard-boiled
The
egg.
slice of a hard-boiled egg, 1 olive, 2 or 3 raisins. That gives it a little bit of the sweet, savory and sweet.
Yeah.
We have here our filling already cooked.
And do you let it cool down? Is that a part of it? You don't want to put it in hot, right?
No, because then the dough will melt.
You're doing a good chunk of meat.
Yeah. You got a pretty good filling on that one.
That's all the love that we put in our empanada. That's our yapa.
Meat is love.
We want them flavorful, full of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is how we assemble. We close it like this.
All right.
And then
there you go.
fold one side, the other side.
Nice.
You've done this before, I can tell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of thousand times. So this is the smoked brisket with barbecue sauce. We do
So
the same
fold
thing.
starts the same.
And then what we do at the end,
So the
this
same
one,
fold as you use for the conquistador.
yeah, this one, same fold, but we add the Texas style, of course, the Lone Star.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
Fancy.
Nice toque.
And you put a little
toque
barbecue
mágico.
sauce.
Toque mágico.
That's cool.
Sí, toque mágico.
That's it.
The ones that I'm used to the fried empanadas, and they're small, or the sweet empanadas, with camote, pumpkin, and since you introduced me to these empanadas, I was like, man, this is a meal. It's great, and so I'm like.
Well, we were so happy. I mean, my wife is Chilena, and we, obviously we're like, oh, there's a Chileno making empanadas. We were like, he's gonna be our best friend.
Yeah, Chilean community here is strong, and we celebrate our traditions, and it's really fun just to get together and share a different experience.
So we like to say that, when we're not eating tacos, we're actually eating taco cousins, and it's kind of like that handheld food that's on the go, and it's delicious, it's hearty, and this is why exactly, empanadas are taco cousins, because it's just great. It's like street food.
But, like we say, man cannot live on tacos alone.
Yeah.
And that's why you were invited to the show.
Thank you. That's awesome.
All right, well, I'm ready to try some empanadas. So,
All right.
Do you think these are done right now?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Let's hook it up.
Woo. Okay.
All right, there you go.
Okay, so what I have here is the conquistador empanada straight from the oven. And this is the Texas-style brisket.
And you can tell the difference because you have the
Lone Star.
Look at that.
All right.
Oh, steaming. I see it. I'm ready. Let's
Crusty
do it.
dough. That's what we're looking always.
Okay.
Jarod, Mando.
Gracias.
Placer.
Chopped brisket sandwich. Move over, man. Oh, shoot.
No, I love the barbecue sauce. It's the little sweetness of the dough. It kind of complements with the sweetness of the barbecue sauce, and the brisket's really, really good, man. I mean, it's. But yeah, thanks for sharing your story. Thanks for sharing your empanadas.
Yeah.
And Yapa empanadas, in the most famous Chileno in Texas, right here.
I'll see you at the farmer's market.
All right, see you at the farmer's market, and we'll see you on the next segment, which there will be more taco cousins and maybe a few tacos.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm Mando Rayo.
And I'm Jarod Neece.
And we're here to talk to two muy importante journalists and culture writers.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to Daniel Hernandez, a Mexican-American journalist and author for the past 20 years.
And we're also talking to Miriam Gurba, and who is a writer, storyteller, and visual artist from Santa Maria, California. First off, for each of you, how do you identify?
I will sometimes use the word Latinx or Latina. I'm more prone to using Chicana. That was the word that I was raised with, and that was the word that my dad socialized me to use because my dad's kind of an OG Chicano.
Yeah, I tend to usually identify just by my heritage, which is Mexican-American. People ask me what I am. I usually kind of throw it back at them just as a game for myself of what do you think I am? And, as a lot of Mexican Americans and Chicanos and Latino Americans, we tend to look like we're from all over the planet. And so it tends to be a very fun guessing game where people want to say everything but Mexican. And so I find Mexican to be the use of the term to be political in its own way.
And I play the same game with people who want to press me about my phenotype. Some of my friends and family have actually joked that the title of my memoir should be Not a Filipina, because everything but I'm like, surprise, I'm Mexican and Polish.
So yeah, and what we're trying to do as well is kind of explore what this terms mean and why has it been politicized.
So about Latinx, I think that the word is useful for coalition building because Latin America is this incredibly expansive geography.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's also a difficult word because Latin America is an incredibly heterogeneous place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the term can be homogenizing and flattening. I find it useful for communicating gender rebellion. I'm a queer woman. I find it to be a useful linguistic intervention.
What's your take, Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, Latinx is the rejection of, the gendering of nouns in Castilian Spanish. I tend to use it when I'm directly writing about transgender Latinos and non-binary people. But I think going back to our very initial question, specificity is always best.
Yeah.
Latino, Latinx, and Hispanic are terms that primarily serve to appease non-Latinos, non-Hispanics, non-Latinxes. Very rarely do we ever need this kind of all-encompassing, enveloping term, except when other people are talking about us. Generally speaking, Latino Americans refer to one another either by primarily their national origin, secondarily their racial or ethnic origin, I'm a white Cuban or I'm a black Dominican or whatever it is. I always say that I'll start using Latinx when the tamalero or the taquero is using it, or when the abuelitas are using it, or even when Spanish language radio is using it.
For me as a white man, do I say Hispanic? Do I say Latino? Do I say Latinx? Do I just started using the term kind of, boil down this, a large group of people into, trying to use a word. And is it okay to ask? Is it okay to, what do you prefer to be called? Or does it even need to come to that?
Under a lot of circumstances, yes, it's appropriate to ask. Although there are awful approaches that that people frequently take in order to try to ferret out what your identity is.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say use, whatever feels right. But also be open.
Yeah.
And be open to the challenging of your own norms and your own views. And I think that's, a lesson that we could take in any direction.
Definitely. And how that translates to food and culture and history. And so we'll be exploring that much, much more. So Daniel, Miriam, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you both. We learned a lot.
Yeah. And we'll see you on the interwebs. Bye.
Bye, guys.
All right, it's time for your favorite segment,
And mine.
viewer questions.
That's right. First question from @JessicaDavia_Burnett. I love tacos, but I'm on a 30-day diet.
Oh,
Sorry about that. What is the best taco option for me? I'm gonna have to go with anything on a corn tortilla. I mean, that's like a shake.
put the flour
It's like a protein
tortilla
shake.
down. That's like just like a masa ball in your
Yeah, it's carb
stomach.
load. You don't want a carb load if you're on a 30-day diet.
Yeah. Here's another question. This is Rosie from the internet. Do y'all agree with my hypothesis? Hispanics like their tacos with flour tortillas. Latinos like their tacos with corn tortillas. Latinx like their tacos with pan blanco and tostada chips.
You
What?
eat tacos with white bread?
I don't. I mean, I don't.
I see where she's coming
Yeah.
from. She's like, oh, Tex-Mex, Hispanic, they think they use
Right.
flour tortillas.
Yeah.
Latinos are more,
Right.
interior Mexican maybe, and Latinx are,
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. But what I'm going to say is I mostly disagree with your hypotheses. To each, cada quien.
And well, that's it. That's what we learned a lot today. I learned a lot today.
So thanks so much for tuning in again. We love that you guys support us, and we'll come up with a new show concept, next week.
Yeah, we promise. Come back. We'll be here because that's where we live, in your television.
Bye.